Loving my brothers, man, you niggas ain't no kidding, that's a fact.
That's a motherfucking fact. You brothers ain't my brothers, man. You niggas ain't no kid. Don't play with my boy Drake. You know how I feel when no friends in the industry come on. That's my motherfucking shit. Oops. Y'all know I always get excited. I get carried away by this third segment. You already know it ain't changed. It ain't changed. All right, y'all. LYNX Live. I am your host, Dame LYNX. Remember, love yourself. No exceptions. And look, before we get out of here, because I'm having such a good time with y'all tonight, as usual. Oh, first of all, happy Father's Day. It is Father's Day right now as I'm recording this. Shout out to my dad. I still have to give him a call because he will have a fit if I do not call him today. I love you, Dad. I'm working. All right. And I'm just having a great time. Gemini season, you know, but we definitely got to keep it PC. You know, we're going to keep it pop culture. Today, I want to get into, it's the 20th anniversary of a lot of albums this year. What really even sparked me to look into this was Keyshia Cole has been outside doing interviews because her debut album, The Way It Is, turns 20 this year. That album is such an important album in my life, and it just got me to thinking about where art takes us to. You know, when you hear certain songs, when you listen to certain albums, when you see music videos, when you think of certain artists, like it takes you back to a time in your life where that artist was important to you. And Keyshia Cole, like at that age, that was 20 years ago. So I was 2021, you know, and I was just such a different person. I was The Way It Is. Like I remember the breakup I was going through. I remember the apartment I was living in. And that album is just so perfect to me. Seeing Keyshia Cole, I even like how she went back to the hairstyle, but it's more elevated now. The red with the blonde piece. Keyshia is that girl. The Way It Is such a perfect album to me. Another album that's turning 20 years old is Young Jeezy, Thug Motivation. And people that know me know how much I love Jeezy and how much I love that album. I remember the first time I heard Jeezy, I was at homecoming. I was at college homecoming. Shout out to Fort Valley State. And my homegirl was playing his mixtape. It was a CD, an actual CD. And I remember like, girl, what is this? Turn this off. And then by the end of that next summer, I was the biggest Jeezy fan. So Thug Motivation 101, I remember the car I had. I remember having the CD. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jeezy, 20 years since his debut album. So let's take a look at just some other albums that are turning 20 this year. And I'll maybe dip into like, you know, how much I love them and what they mean to me. The next one is Kanye West's Late Registration. Yes, that album is turning 20 years old. Now, here's the thing. I separate anything old Kanye from this Kanye that we have now. So no matter what Kanye has going on now, any of his old projects, I'm still going to listen to him. Late Registration happens to be, in my opinion, Kanye's best album. It's my favorite. That and 808s and Heartbreak is definitely a tie between those two, but they just do two different things. But Late Registration, I mean, that had Gold Digger, Touch the Sky. I listen to Touch the Sky on my Grand Morning playlist every single morning. So that album's turning 20 as well. Chris Brown's debut album turns 20 this year. I don't know why I thought that album was much older than that. Missy Elliott released The Cookbook 20 years ago. So that album turns 20. That's one of her later projects. That album for me kind of just solidified me as a Missy fan because it wasn't like this super turn album. It wasn't one of her best works, but the project as a whole, like she made me understand the importance of sequence, the importance of concept on your album. And one thing Missy's always gonna do is she knows how to make records. So The Cookbook kind of solidified me as a Missy fan, even though a lot of people don't talk about that album much. Our girl A. Marie, Touch turns 20, which is probably why she's back outside. Touch, I believe, is her second album, but that album had us in a chokehold. The clubs, you could not go anywhere without hearing the song Touch. One Thing with those drums. So yeah, that turns 20. John Legend, Get Lifted is 20. I loved that album. I remember where I was working at the time because I used to listen to the CD, back and forth to work. Fantasia, Free Yourself. That was another really great album. Iconic, Fantasia's debut album, and we see the great talent she is and what she's turned into and what she's doing now. So Free Yourself turns 20. Lil' Kim, The Naked Truth, my favorite Lil' Kim album, turns 20 years old. This is Kim's best album. This is the album that she released after being released from jail, after doing her jail sentence. Or was it before she went in? It was around that time. I can't remember if it was when she got in or when she got out. But The Naked Truth is Lil' Kim's best album to me. That's my favorite Kim album. Trina, Glamorous Life. I only like that album because of the Lil Wayne record, but that turns 20 as well. Our girl Tierra Marie's debut album came out 20 years ago. I love that album. I love me some TT. Po thing. Pretty Ricky, Blue Stars. Y'all know me and my homegirl thought we was Pretty Ricky. We used to run to the club. You could not tell us that we were not Pretty Ricky. Such an iconic album. Another iconic album that turns 20, Mariah Carey, The Emancipation of Mimi turns 20, which is my favorite Mariah album. I love that album. It still sounds perfect to this day. I love The Emancipation of Mimi. 50 Cent's The Massacre album. I think that had Candy Shop on it. That's turning 20. Gwen Stefani, Love Angel Music Baby. Sierra's debut album is 20 this year. Goodies. Sierra's got a new album coming in August, but shout out to Sierra Goodies. Goodies is, I tell you guys a lot about how I feel like a debut album is supposed to sound. To me, Sierra Goodies is the epitome of what a pop artist debut album should sound like. It's a perfect debut album. Destiny Fulfilled by Destiny's Child turns 20 this year. Whew. I don't even have to say anything about that album. Y'all get it. If you were there, and even if you weren't, you know. Omarion's debut album when he went solo is 20 years old this year. And also T.I. Urban Legend, my favorite T.I. album. So look, these 20-year anniversary, these albums mean a lot to me because it's almost like the 20th anniversary of my music connoisseurship. Around that time, I remember being very much a club head, still very much a music head, and I don't even know how I was able to afford all that music because we didn't have streaming back then. Anyway, which albums are you guys excited about? What are some of your favorite albums? Drop it down in the comments. Look, that's gonna be it for LYNX Live. I'm about to get up out of here because y'all know I'm hungry, so it's time for me to get me something to eat. But real quick, before we get out of here, make sure you run over to SoundCloud and YouTube. Type in DAMELYNX. Love yourself, no exceptions. Hit subscribe. Share my shit, please. Nah, I love you guys. I do have a cool kid of the week this week. Look, my girl Nicki Minaj had to run over there and help Lil Wayne real quick because y'all was talking about the album so much. So she jumped on Banned from NO and dropped her verse on there. So this is the only song that I've heard from the Carter Six. Shout out to Wayne and Nick. Here's Banned from NO. Look, that's gonna be it for LYNX Live. I'll see you guys next time.